It is the 30th of April, number of the day, and it's going to bring tears to your eyes, Francis Heard, because we are talking $126 per barrel of oil, just in time for the fuel price increases in May.
Yeah, this is horrible. And to put it into context, before the war began, oil had come down trading at around 70, 72.
And we were already panicking then, weren't we?
Yeah, well, that was okay. That was okay. But it started going up, and then $100 per barrel seemed to be that war worry threshold. And we've watched over the last month and a half, as soon as people are very worried about what's going on in the Middle East, it goes above 100. Sometimes there's been hopes for peace, and then it comes below 100. 126 is the worst we've seen throughout this war. And it's about a 4-year high, because in June 2022, prices were higher. Now, remember, that was when Ukraine was invaded by Russia. And there were huge concerns about what that would do to global supply and markets. So this is very bad. It's not the worst the world has ever seen. That was $147 or so in the crisis of 2008. So that was a global financial crisis. But Gareth, some people are saying it could get way, way worse. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Worse than 126 or worse than 147?
Worse than 126 and maybe beyond 147. So yesterday I spoke to an analyst from Rand Swiss, and he was saying, maybe markets are underestimating what is happening here. And markets seem to be optimistic. He said the traders in America seem to be particularly optimistic that somehow the US will be able to resolve this conflict with Iran in a good way, and they are skewing the market. But he said if you look at the fact that there really is no end in sight, it could be worse. Now, Gareth, we've had I've just been watching global news, and a lot of energy experts have been saying right from the beginning that markets are not comprehending the gravity of this. And they won't, because market people trade markets, right? So they trade barrels of oil, but they don't understand. And there was an understanding that when the war started, that there was enough oil to go around. There was even maybe oversupply. And then governments have stepped in and they've released some supply. But these energy experts are saying this is a problem because the oil can run out. And maybe markets won't appreciate that until it begins to run out.
And then we're going to see this panic of the price, because we spoke about this the other day, and I just want to be very clear. Maybe you can just refresh my memory as I get on in years. But it's not just the oil price. It's the actual availability of the oil that we can get around the world. So people are panicking because the price might go up. That's problem A. Problem B is we might actually run out.
Yes, or maybe not run out fully, but prices will be affected by demand. Everyone will want to fill their pumps up, and there won't be enough supply. Yeah. The EU this week was talking about the jet fuel that we spoke about, saying there could be widespread shortages in coming weeks. What when planes across the world start to become grounded because there's not enough jet fuel? An EU energy expert said a while back that this could be worse than the oil shock of the 1970s, plus the global financial crisis combined. So there is a sense that maybe markets are underpricing the real impact here, and we could see oil prices go to those all-time highs.
Which is a problem for us here in South Africa because, of course, we're generally, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're generally considered a net importer of refined oil, which we, of course, use for fuel.
Yes, and that is why, so let's land it there, because there is huge concern for South Africa and other vulnerable countries. We are very vulnerable. We're seeing the prices go up at the pumps, and we're seeing governments' very limited ability to reduce levies. It says that cannot go on forever. But Gareth, we are starting to speak to Investec, for example, is saying that businesses are starting to feel this as well, beyond just the price at the pumps, because the prices of their imports are going up.
Yes.
And the time to get those imports the availability is being affected. Also, yesterday, the Peter Maritzburg group that looks at household prices for goods said that fuel prices were coming down. That was the good news. But between March and April, food prices actually went up quite significantly, saying that could be the way the war is starting to impact on our everyday shopping here in South Africa. So definitely not good news. No end in sight. The US talking about targeted strikes again, and the oil prices come back down, but it did hit $126 per barrel.